Get on your bike! I'm on! Ah. I'm ravenous. I'm actually gonna get some water. Phoebe, you can't be in here. You little birdie. You too, puppy. Go. Bye. Alright. I blockaded the animals. So, I didn't finish my journaling. I'm a bad boy. I know. I actually decided that I would really like to start doing my weekly journaling on Sunday, like my weekly review. I think that's a really good way to structure things. Over the weekend, I had some really good thoughts about my trading, about creating objective statistics, but really simple, like no numbers, just yeses and nos, and I just update it. And probably an Excel spreadsheet, maybe by that guy from Musta Sheets, and just keep a continuous database. Essentially, there'll be like fundamental context for each trade or each statistic, which would be the higher time frame, market context, the intraday market context, the fuck. How do I not remember this? The open type and the previous day type. And then for the setups, all I would do is yes or no's, and then it would take numbers for the percentage of the time scaled, percentage of the time tapped and retraced more than 3 points. Percentage of the time, 6 points or more. Percentage of the time, 10 points or more. And then small details per setup, which would be yes or no's, which is VWAP to VPOC, move 2 ticks or more in same direction after initial touch, VPOC migration, and I would differentiate between return and migration for reversal, or balancing in range, then migration. And then, yeah, so it's going to be very simple, I hope. And then I would just update it daily. I was pretty upset that I didn't finish my journaling yesterday, but me and Devin did grind for a lot of hours, like 7 hours on the house. And we had a nice weekend. We went to bed a little bit later. I fell asleep probably at like midnight, woke up at 6:30, which is no problem. Not feeling real tired, and also I didn't have my vegetable drink this morning, and I didn't shit myself, so that's nice. So, last week I was really tired the first 3 days of the market being open. I slept like the whole day. Oh, well, Monday I didn't trade. Tuesday, Wednesday I took big naps. And then Thursday I was tired, but I don't think I took a little nap. And then Friday I didn't nap. Saturday I was pretty tired, relaxed. And yesterday I wasn't tired. So we took it a lot easier this weekend than the previous weekend, and we took care of ourselves and everything. So I'm definitely getting a better start to this week. Last week I was having issues with anger, um, which I think was leading to, it wasn't, maybe it was only partially anger, but by the end of the week I was making a lot of impulsive decisions and I wasn't really thinking that well about the market, which I really wanted to journal, but I didn't get to it. Specifically, I just remember that when the market was up here trying to test the IB, I went long here and then I got scaled, and then I went long here or somewhere in here and I got stopped out. Yeah, right here. And then never reached the IB. So we had an IBF there. And the key takeaway from this is that this area was key resistance and the mean was right here. So I shouldn't be purchasing at the mean looking for continuation. In this very specific context, I should be looking for pullbacks to the statistic or looking for IBF. So that was a pretty decent flaw on my end. I'm only going to be trading until Wednesday this week because I'm not going to renew all of my stuff because I'm going to be going out to sea like probably within a few days. I'm going to reach out to the dispatcher on, I said Wednesday, but maybe Tuesday. So, overall statistics, I have a 38% win rate and a win-loss of 1.73. I should try to get this number back up. It used to be at 2.3. And I'm essentially break even over 50 trades. But with commissions, I'm down $250, which is really crazy. Let's go to last week. 21st, 16 to 21. Last week, I had a 36% win rate and an average win-loss of 2.04, and I made $61. So that's a lot better than the previous week. Let's look at the previous week real quick. It would be 13 to 9. Yeah. And then the previous week, not nearly as good. I mean, really, I'm trading within like a $100 range for the last like 8 days. So my biggest mistakes are no structure, no awareness, and context change, which I haven't decided fully how to mark these context changes. So I need to be vigilant and on my toes and maybe more specific, considering no awareness is losing me a lot of money. So only 7 out of my 54 trades I marked as no setup, which is pretty good. But other times I am not waiting for structure. I have no range on the trade, and I'm not calling out context changes like a professional would. And I know that comes with experience and like a sixth sense. But my goals are staying the same. I'm not changing them. I'm going to just continuously work on waiting for structure, making sure I have range, and calling out context changes. Specifically, I started trying to have range on my trades. I did better job at it as the week went on. But regarding the structure, I was not doing as well with it. So with my trades, I need to see an auction and then a break of that auction and a pullback to the auction. It's pretty simple. Exceptions are if there was a previous auction and we price check and start seeing buyers, because that's like an auction and a retest. Aside from that, I'm gonna start taking objective statistics to see like how frequently things happen that are stopping me out by a tick or two and whatnot, and trying to figure out higher probability trades. And maybe I'm not going to really get so far with these things until I have those statistics, but I'm certainly going to try to just learn from experience and paying attention to whatever patterns I could pick up on. I'm going to be extremely aware of two-sided trading versus trend configuration. For my morning plan this morning, my plan was kind of flip-flop to John's, but the whole idea is there, which is essentially we're in a pretty tight range and there's potential chop today between this magnet zone and between somewhere in this area, 64 to 60, whatever. So really structured risk-reward trades until I see something happen. The better trades are to the downside, but on the higher time frame, we do have structure to repair up down to 25. We have 51, 45, previous week low at 36, 25, 10, and then the century figure. So there's a lot to the downside if we start falling apart, and everything's pretty close together. So I need to manage risk. Today's the type of day where I take my risk off the table rather quickly unless it's a trend configuration. So that's very important to note on a day like today. And that's something that I hadn't done in the past. But now making plans myself quickly after analyzing the chart and seeing what I think instead of just listening to someone else, I'm starting to recognize these things better for myself. All right, I'm excited for today. I'm going to have a good day. I'll be back. Okay. FT is really, really stressing patience, which is the same thing that I said to myself this morning before FT said anything. So we're looking at Friday's highs and lows for major clues, value area highs and lows for major clues. We have stats that could be hit. Here's a VPOC migration. There's a tap of the previous volume point of control. We're into the magnet zone. Heavy liquidity above. VPOC migration. Now this is an interesting structure here. Potential for VWAP to VPOC. But I'm just going to wait. We'll see, because we have this initial run upwards. We'll see what starts developing around here. Maybe we'll get a test of the previous high a day. So that's a break of the magnet zone here. We know that we have this previous high day, 84. This looks like some stop divergence. Looks like a sign of exhaustion. Another POC migration. So we just held that previous value area high. There's potential for mean reversion, but there's not really a lot of room, so I'm not so interested in shorting that previous high day. Here's an LVN. Some liquidity here at the previous value area high and also VWAP coming into the magnet zone. Testing 81 from below. Not many stops there. We're back above the volume point of control. Liquidity refills here. So that was a VHVN test, a magnet zone test, and VWAP. Auctioning here, we could potentially see continuation. It looks pretty clean. Some volume building. Trying to test this previous high day. There's a touch. Now it's important to watch the reaction here.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
We're above this high a day. Currently above it. So we're looking to see if it falls back through. We're looking to get risk neutral by the mean and then target probably down here.
Order submitted.
And then we have the overnight volume point of control.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Some liquidity stepping in. Pretty heavy liquidity there. Okay, we catch a scale. We have the magnet zone here. VHVN test. 79.5. And 76. So that's probably good, like in here.
Order submitted.
And then, what else do we got? Overnight volume point of control 73.25, so 74. There's the previous high day being rejected. We have the mid at 80 here. Prior swing in this magnet zone. We're holding below this previous value area low. VHVN liquidity clash there. That's my first target there. So now we'll see what happens at this previous high day. We broke the structure here. So, broke this swing, we're testing this volume here. Liquidity is holding, we're auctioning the previous high a day. We tested that value area and we held above it. So we have to see what the market wants to do. That was a pretty solid break of everything, but we came back in. Even potential for more mean reversion, potentially. Oh, we have news at 45. Here's a test of the previous high day. So we tested right up into this volume. Now we're looking to see if it starts rejecting or holding. A decent amount of volume being created here at the previous high a day. We just broke the high. And it looks like we're trying to continue. So now we made a new high and we're above the previous high a day. So we have news coming out in 2 minutes, so we're not interested until then. Potential for a VPOC migration. So long as we're holding above this area though, and the value area, and we're continuously auctioning here, I'm starting to think that longs are on the table. John says, yes, okay, support on the first retest of magnet zone, gets a new high day. Key test here, IMO, at the 4587 stock zone. As mentioned, I'm sitting on hands until I see evidence. We're making a decision about what we want to do betwixt these two zones. There's no rush. That's a test below, and now an auction. So we test low, we hold the magnet zone, and we rally right up to create a new high. Now we're holding above the previous high a day. Potential for a VPOC migration up here at the previous high a day. The market is fairly black. Let's take a look at what happens here. Test of the VPOC, holding below previous high a day. Test lower, no stops. Testing structure. Break the structure. Sitting on the ledge. Potential retest down.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Okay. Selling. So I got fucking one ticked. Testing into the magnet zone. A break of the auction here. Let's see how we react to this. So we reject the mid. We're coming back to test this volume. Let's stay present. So VHVN is being auctioned. We're holding below the mid and this previous value area low. Moving away from this high volume node. Break the auction. Stat below at 73.
Order submitted.
We're going to try to enter a short at the high volume node, targeting the overnight volume point of control.
Order submitted.
Double bottom there.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
VPOC migration down. Okay, we get our scale. Looking for that overnight volume point of control. That's a break through the VHVN. Heavy selling. Very heavy. Overnight volume point of control. See if this holds. What to do with this?
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
So we'll see if this breaks. We have this value area low at 68 potential, and the previous low day at 65.
Order submitted.
We'll see if this overnight volume point of control starts giving. I'm not so interested in trading on the inside here. This is a structured trade here. See some stops down there below this area. Whoa. Okay.
Order submitted.
Yes, looking to be resolving lower. That's what John says. We'll see how we react to this value area. We're auctioning below this previous value area low. Very, very high volume area.
Order submitted.
High volume defended. I'm good with it. Tom says, guys, very structured trading so far. So, potential for mean reversion here. If we break the 70, potential for previous low a day at 63.75. Yes, okay, this appears to be following my scenario one pretty closely, although getting the test faster than I expected. We may get both scenarios today. So far, we got a push higher to the over-under zone and got the expected resistance / reversion lower, now below yesterday's point of control. So, potential areas to interact. We have an LVN here, which I'm not so interested in. We have high volume here. So it turns into potential VPOC migration trade. Yes, if this mag zone resolves as resistance, I'm looking to get a test of 64. So, sweeper comes in. This area is holding currently. So, we're looking to see if this magnet zone resolves as resistance. Stops above 77.25 into mid. This area is being currently rejected as too high. And we'll see if this area starts resolving as too low. There's some heavy selling. A weak low here. Would have to operate with a scalpel. Let's see if we get the migration and maybe a break and a test. We could also look for a test higher and then targeting this area. So this area was now defended. We see stops go off. Coming into the overnight buying point of control. That was a fairly large buying, a higher low. Two-sided trading until this is broken. Break of the context here. Potential to test 70. Price check. Higher time frame, hold, test, hold, break higher. So potential for more reversion up against this area, 71. So we hold here. I've been seeing the buyers show up. That's why I exited, remember, right? Can't forget. Buyer shows up. We continue a decent amount higher. We test the low. And now we broke the high here. Come retest. Now we're testing again. So that was a good trailing stop there. VHVN test, not as important. So now what we're going to have to see is, do we reject this magnet zone or do we hold it? Upon a test, there's potential for a trade. There's range for a retest of this area. Probably have a target somewhere at like 72-ish. Potential for this area to be tested again after the magnet zone. The 77, previous volume point of control, so up in this area. Tom says, it does not matter if you recognize the context or its development. It does matter that you can interpret it as it develops when you can spot behavior you have defined. So here's the open being held. It looks like a potential selling structure. Test of the overnight volume point of control. Key LVN at that right below that previous value area low that we held from the overnight session. Pretty key auction there from the previous day. So that's why we caught there. If we break through this low now, I'll anticipate a check of the previous close or previous low day. This is all chop now. not really so interested in trading in this area. That was a very heavy rejection, though, of the previous high day. So, potential for more selling. As VPOC migrates more and more, I think it becomes a little bit less valuable, potentially. That's what Mike says. And, yeah, in this context, I could see that being true. Some fairly heavy liquidity stepping in. Price clashes in this area. Maybe we'll get another VPOC migration. And then there's a tight range to play in to get scaled. But we did create a new low. We broke the opening price. So, in my opinion, this could continue. Yes, paper showing size on 75 offer. This guy has been real. Just something to be aware of. Yeah, look at that, man. 1,000. Wow. We're seeing a break. We'll see if we get that migration. Volume's up here. That was a perceived opportunity. Now we see the break.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
We'll see if we can catch a scale. I don't think it'll be terribly difficult. Okay. Holy shit. So we're back on board and we're looking for a break to test 64.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Yes, trying to hold FS mid here, not getting a flush after that battle at 75s will be indicative of balance to me, or at least need for a test hire. Here's a test of this area. We tested it and it's too low. Now we gotta see if this area is too high. I know I don't know. But after I like hitting it the initial time. This could get kind of messy depending on if we get a flush here or not. If we don't get a flush, then I'm gonna start becoming a lot more cautious here. But it seems like we're maybe not gonna get it after seeing this here. We have a lot of liquidity stepping on both sides. So
Order submitted.
I don't know.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
This is my structured setup though. LVN here that gotta be broken. This is starting to look weak. So we're a mean reversion. Now there becomes potential for VWAP to VPOC pretty tight. Min and VWAP are on top of each other. Potential test 80 VHVN. This is a key zone. And an area that could burn me up. So let's wait to see. Potential test into this 80. '80, 79.5 VHVN. Test of the VHVN. Not so much structure below this area. We have this obstacle here, 75. It's at 76, so it's not really that much. That's a test into the VHVN. And we're testing this auction here. Still inside the magnet zone, we have this previous value area high. LVN here, separating the distributions, up at 81. Stops at that area too. Very two-sided now. Be aware. Liquidity is stepping down. We'll see if this starts giving. ES grinding into this key area. As mentioned, I'm looking for resistance around here if the short biases stay intact and strong. Otherwise, the environment will look a lot more balanced to me. That's a test into this value area. Support here. VHVN at 82. Still mean reversion. stops up there at the previous high a day. It's a pretty good run. See if we... Whoa. Okay. Hammered it. VPOC migration. This day is becoming a bit messy. Auctioning this LVN here. We're above the magnet zone. So VPOC migrates up. I'm just not really so interested in trading that. I didn't even perceive it really. It would go into the stats though, the database. Defense here. Test, break. There's really no room to scale. Let's do a quick recap. Open up, drive higher. VPOC is migrating with the price. Mid and VWAP are moving higher. We test the VHVN, we come back up, we break the high, but we cannot continue. We sell off aggressively. Tap the previous value area low, reject it. We come back up. VPOC migrates down as the move is occurring. We come back up, very heavy buying down here, hold on the retest, heavy buying here. We're seeing more heavy buying. VPOC migrates up again into the magnet zone, and we're auctioning now this value area, and we're holding below the previous high a day. So, knowing this, does it change anything for me? I'm thinking that this is now a very balanced environment. And mean reversion until it's not. So we'll look for an IB play. And if we break the over-under, then potential to test higher into 95, 94, 4600, 4604. Here's another migration higher. Not so important because the whole thing is filled with volume. This area could be important in LVN. So a pick of this area and then into the LVN could be semi-important. John says, ES, back in this vague area between the two zones. With that, as mentioned in plans, get much more cautious with this action. So this would technically be considered mean reversion with structure to test the IB. But we have IB in both directions. So it's really like a coin flip. The only thing that's going for it is that we're above the mag zone, and we have structured VWAP to VPOC aligned with the LVN. So maybe odds are a 50-50 on this trade. Slightly favorable for a scale. On an IBF, we have some room to the mean. It'll be important not to rush it, to wait for proper structure, because a lot of times at the IB, there's double picks and whatnot. If we come up higher, in my opinion, I would be more open to an IBF as opposed to if we test the IB lower. Yes, we attempted higher, that seems to be refuted. Then attempted lower, and that seemed to be refuted. I'm not saying that we don't get a directional move today, but I am saying that to me, the behavior is so far indicative of a stalemate. So I need the evidence on one side is winning to take risk. All right, let's get back into it here. Let's not get lulled to sleep, right? So we're holding above the magnet zone. We see volume point of control shifting within a 2-point range. We're in this tight auction here. So it looks like a flag currently. Potential to test lower for a VWAP to VPOC with only around a 2-point to 4-point range to get scaled, targeting the IB. That's a potential managed risk trade. It's around 8 points. We decide to move upwards. We take stops above here. And there's potential for stops above the previous high a day and coming into the IB in 2 minutes. So long as it's a structured IB at 10:30 in a minute, then it could be a more clear-cut risk for around a 5-point trade. 5 points and 8 points. That's currently what I see. There's very large potential for mean reversion here after this rally. So it could be kind of clean cut. Oh, watch the behavior at the moment. Narrate. What is the context? Which way is it leaning based on the structures? Which way is it leaning? Well, if we break the over-under, it's leaning up. Right now, it's looking like it's making an attempt at higher. What stats are open? What might be potential direction to align with? What stats are open? We have the previous close at 64. We have the overnight low, which is lower probability. Previous week's settlement. We have the IB, obviously. What might be the direction to align with? Well, it seems like Tom is trying to say that he's longing targeting the initial balance. So what I could see Tom doing is getting long in here and then putting just his targets here and then maybe getting short. It's pretty hard to find an opportunity in here, though. This was it. VHVN test. Really, though, like 82 to 84.5, there's not enough room to even take a trade off of that. So I'm not worried. Previous high a day was sitting at 84. We've tested up to 84.25 without seeing really many stops there. I really hope we see the IBL, personally. I think I would even potentially be able to align for targeting the IBL if we break this structure and we start holding below VWAP, then it could be a pretty clean shot to the IBL. So rally, basing out. And let's see what starts happening here. We're going to want to see if this starts playing out. We're testing inside now. Potential test down here to 80. Potential test to VWAP. If we start breaking the structure and holding below the VWAP, then there's a defined risk trade targeting the initial balance low. And we have this area separating the distribution here. This area, 74, is an obstacle that I have to account for. Here's a VPOC migration once again. That's some fairly heavy selling. Order flow clash. So maybe this was lower probability, but also maybe not. We'll see if this mag zone, essentially below the FSVWAP, if this starts holding as resistance, then potential to test lower again. It might be lower probability, given the structure here. There's another POC migration. We held this price here, the magnet zone. There's no trade here, in my opinion. I mean, there could be VHVN test, but where's the structure? Here? I just can't find myself risking that. Here's this big trader. He's back. We also had VWAP just below, and I know that there's potential to test there, and that's the test I was looking for, and we didn't get it. Here's another test of this auction with this guy stepping in. If this breaks, I think it's going to be fairly aggressive. This is also mean reversion. But this held. Failed to take the high here. Back at this area. Looking fairly weak if you ask me. Giving it a test. Testing the waters. Holding below. Tom asked context. I said 84, maybe too high, but both stats open. Test, and we're back in. No pressure to be wrong. Everyone's wrong. 84 maybe is too high. So, 84 may be too high. But both stats open. Let's see. People seem to think that they should be longing. We tested down, couldn't get it to VWAP. We tested up, this was too high. Now we're testing down. We're holding above the magnet zone. Pretty tricky area. That was a retest that volume and a test here. So maybe it is up. First signs of a break here. Test low, break higher, higher low. Now we're testing higher. Test of the volume. Strong buyers. Looking pretty good for a continuation here. Test of the volume. I think that I just really want to see the downside go. The context does show that we're maybe going to get a test of the initial balance high. It's pretty compelling. But anything could happen, you know? This guy steps in here a while ago. potential long. Yeah, so we pick, break the high. We might be going up. Overnight, we pick the low, and then we break the previous, or no, we break that 83 zone. Now we couldn't continue. Slight shift. See if we break 82.5. Especially if we take out this liquidity, then I'd be more open to a long targeting the IBF. But in here, there's no trade to be had. A break below this area, maybe in my opinion, it could mean either we're picking off stops or we're going to attempt for the IB. So we have to be scaled by this VHVN at 74.25. If we take it to the short side, we want to see it start holding below the magnet zone. And if we break upwards, take out this liquidity and return, potential to get long targeting the IB high. And I'd probably take all of it off 2 ticks at 86. Buyers are defending this area. They're attempting it higher. We have sellers up above that are holding it down. That's an attempt at higher. So here's another higher low. So we're just kind of making a channel here. Slight break. Seeing a lot of green. A hold here. Maybe we'll see someone, either we're going to see the buying really pick up, or we're going to maybe see someone hammer it down. Some heavy selling. Let's see what happens at this VWAP. That was some absorbed selling there. Big battle. Big absorbed buying. If we see the sellers come in, we'll know. Same with the buyers. We'll see it. At this point, testing down here, if it's on, we'll probably see it just rip above this area. So I will know pretty shortly here. We're auctioning near the lows, which hadn't happened in a while. It's so much better to it feels, I'm not, it feels better to not be trying to buy down here after a rejection, because then it's just like a grind up. Meanwhile, if we see price get volatile and rip upwards, then buying a pullback, you know that this area was already defended. Some heavy buying there. We're looking for a test and break of this area, 82.5.
Order submitted.
81 to 78.5 risk. Some very heavy buying there. So we'll be getting a 2-to-1 because we'll be risking 2.5 to make 5. Yet to pick these stops off here. We're looking to enter long on a retest of 81. Maybe we won't get it. VHVN here. Liquidity steps in. He pulls. So it looks like it might just continue, which is no problem. And if it picks me up, great. I don't know, man. I'm not feeling right about this. I feel like a hammer could come in here. Buying's picking up here. Okay, we're above the previous high a day. Buying is increasing here. And we see a reaction coming up to this volume. Well, auction here. 81 auction. Important. $80. I saw the buyer come in here. I don't think I was ready for this. $76.5-ish outside lower edge of current distribution. Still leaning north, not a wreck. This is balance. $76.5. That's the LVN. Yep. So we break. Auction can't continue. Break this auction here. Testing this high volume area. Testing down here. This is currently too high, this distribution. Selling comes in. We have the 80 volume point of control. Slight migration here. Liquidity steps in. Tap of the VPOC. Still potential to come down lower or reverse here. Really anyone's game. Obstacle 82.5. Too hard to scale. No range. $80 test. Back down here at the lower edge of this distribution. Potential take stops. Absorbed selling there. The low is still intact. VWAP is still intact. Got to see the VWAP broken. Very, very, very tight. 76.5 outside edge. Buyer steps in. Auction broken. Potential long. I just don't see merit in it. We still have this structure here, so obstacle is here. Stop has to be here. So 1.75 and 1.5. So you need to have your scale up here. We're basing, so maybe, unless we're not basing yet. We rejected, and now we come test, and we come back down and test here. This was too high. Now we're going to test down here, see if this is too low. And if it is, then we'll break this area potentially, and then retest this. Okay, so we break this auction. That's more compelling. We're back up here. Anticipating a break. We have to see how much we extend the IB by what the quality of the move is to make our decision of IBC or IBH. If it extends all the way up to 88, then I am likely not taking an IVF. Holding. Obstacle, previous high a day. That gives me 2.5 points of range between the two. That's a 3/4 of a point break. I think that qualifies as range extension. Very high volume coming into that area. Now we're below the IB. We tap this volume here at 85. We have volume here at 84. ES gets the IB high and breaks out of that big zipper we just formed. Test of the IB high. Holding below the IB. Iceberg steps in. We'll see if we extend the range here. So we're creating structure here. A lot of bi ices happening now. And it looks like the push might be for higher. We'll see if we get a new high here. A lot of ices below, liquidity above, thickening up. This structure here is important, 85. That structure should hold if we're going to get an IBC. Liquidity pulls, ice pulls. Do not take the high. Testing the IB here. The buyers will want to see this hold. And if we start breaking down, but if we make a new high and we come back, then it might be an IBC. Okay, so it looks like this was maybe too high temporarily. We break lower, see a little bit of selling come in, test the auction, test the micro auction. Based on the sum of the actions, including overnight, my primary expectation going forward this AM today is a grind higher. The line in the sand for that currently for me would be the overnight volume point of control confluence area from earlier today. However, if we can extend slightly from here before we pull back, for me, I would be open to mag zone slash structure potentially acting as support. All that said, I am still reasonably cautious above this action. The bias is relatively weak, and we have not yet meaningfully extended from Friday's tight balancing range. Overnight volume point of control 73, line in the sand for higher. That makes sense. It aligns right here with this. It doesn't mean that there's not potential for an IBF for a structured setup. It might be counter trend. We'll see if we can extend here though for an IBC. I don't want to fight the context. And this actually looks like it wants to continue. So we're at 86.5 for the IB high. So if we extend higher, then we could retest the IB and potentially get long there. So 86.75-ish, maybe, for a potential long. Devin said that was rough. Had to poop the whole way. We're just talking about our poops to each other. Okay, week high, 4 touches. A pick below 84 could be potential alignment for longs. I haven't taken a trade in a while, right? Since 10 o'clock. I just watched this whole thing. Sorry. Alignment potentially with VHVN and previous high a day. Some heavy selling from this area. A week high above though. 550 buy ices. Previous high a day. Not tapped yet. Some very heavy selling. I would like to see a test in the 83.75. We might not get it. See stops taken there, but I guess kind of like a ledge here. Pretty hard entry if you ask me. I would say on the verge of non-existent. A test of the IB. That's the IBF that I missed. But it's fine because we're trying to maybe align long. There's a test of 84.25. A little bit of stop divergence here, but we did not pick the previous high day off. $85 to 86.25. A lower low created. So
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Pick it. Pick it.
Order submitted.
Fuck you. Alright, we're scaled. This is a scalp, for the record. Previous high days being defended.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
We were holding the previous high day, now potentially rejecting it. So we're targeting the mean. And then we have a VHVN. So
Order submitted.
we're going to make it look like this. Wow. I almost missed this. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Previous high day rejected. Very temporarily. We'll see if it wants to continue down or if this is going to hold now. But I'm suspecting that it continues. We're coming into the high volume area. Targeting these areas. I don't know if it'll get there. If this breaks, then my area could be targeted. It's only a little over a point away. Seeing some heavy selling there. There it is. Fairly heavy. Mm-hmm.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Wow. Let's see what sort of reaction we get as we come down here to retest. We just held this auction. Not getting a good retest down here.
Order submitted.
If it wants to continue, feel free, my friend. But if it's gonna break this area, then I'm gonna suspect that it's gonna come back up here and test the high a day and maybe even continue. So we're not giving it that much room. Because it pegged it and now it's auctioning here, so this is reasonable. And look at the display of patience today. I am changing as a person. I took a trade at 10:05 and another trade at 11:30. Nothing in between in the chop, only caught a move. That's pretty nice. We might see an explosion higher as we're not able to test. But I don't know.
Order submitted.
Key LVN 76.5.
Order
I
submitted.
forgot about that. That's my target. Test down, break up, probably wipe. I would be surprised if it doesn't happen. Now I'm at this area where I'm like, well, it really looks like it's just going to take me out. Do I give up the point? So essentially, right now, is there at least a 20% chance that this occurs? If there is a 20% chance that this occurs before I get stopped out, then I should stay in, because that's break even. If it's 25% or 30%, then I should definitely stay in. If it's less than 20, then I should exit. Does this look like a less than 20 event to me? Yeah, it does. I'm okay with giving up the point in order to operate within that concept and teach it to myself. Take the point and run, or hold for an extra 5. Given the structure, I think there's a less than 20% probability. Okay, we're done for today. Final P&L plus 90. Good deal. Good deal. I have to pee so bad. Alright, GG's. You! Pretty good today. I'm proud of myself. Time to review after this.